I was running around looking for my jacket today, and like, where are my keys? I can't find my keys. Unless that happens to you. Thankfully, I don't live alone, and so my brother was there saying, look, stop, look, in your hand. Thank you, brother. It's good to have those people in our lives sometimes. Things are not completely lost when they're around because someone else can help us have the eyes to see when we don't. It can be right in front of us, so obvious, and we can't see it, but someone else can for us. Thank God for those wonderful people in our lives. This is the message of the gospel today. This is who we see John the Baptist to be. We see, for many years, the Israelite people, they were waiting, and they were waiting, and they were waiting for a Savior. They were looking everywhere for him. And yet here comes Jesus, the actual Savior of the world, walking right in front of them. And what do? They just keep going about their lives. They look, but they do not see. Until John the Baptist says, wake up, look, behold, that's the guy. You're missing him right now. He says, I know my role. My purpose here is to point to him. That is why I was told to come to baptize. That's why I've come proclaiming the kingdom, because I can see and you all can't. And so wake up. How wonderful to have someone like John the Baptist in our lives. Because if we look just one passage further, we see it is precisely because of the preaching of John the Baptist that John and Andrew come to know Jesus. Can you imagine if John wasn't there? Imagine being John and Andrew, and John the Baptist isn't preaching. You might go the rest of your life having never met Jesus, not becoming an apostle, not preaching to the ends of the earth, and it was because of one man that you got to meet the Lord. What a blessing that man would be in your life, that John the Baptist saw when they could not see. I've had many people like this in my life, people who helped me see when I could not see. When I was in high school, I was on the leadership team for our retreats for our high school. I was someone who believed in God, yes. I was someone who followed Jesus, yes. But sometimes I didn't always see the right things. Sometimes Jesus was right in front of me, I couldn't see him. And I remember one retreat in particular, I had been a part of every step of the plan. I knew every beat of what was supposed to happen. And as often happens, it was a complete disaster. At least that's the way I saw it. Within 1 hour, we had thrown out the plan because everything had gone wrong. And we had to come up with a fly, different things to do. And so me, being my 16-year-old self, I sat in the corner and pouted. This is not what I planned. This is awful. This is a disaster. I'm so devastated. Until my youth minister, my John the Baptist, came over and gave me some tough love and said, get up, stupid. Everyone's having a good time but you. Do you not see? Look at the joy around you. Look, Jesus is right in front of you, and you can't see him because you're too focused on what you want to see rather than what's actually there. What a wonderful moment that John the Baptist appeared to me that day. What a wonderful moment that someone was able to see when I couldn't see. If I go through my life, I can think of tons of people like this. How many times my parents were there helping me to see when I was too self-involved as a kid, when I couldn't see for myself. I think of my friends in college who truly introduced me to Jesus. I was baptized, I was a Christian, but I don't know if I was a friend of Jesus until college. I don't know if I really knew him until I was introduced to him by my friends. I think of some friars I've met over the years, my fellow brothers, who have helped me take that next step in faith, who helped me see what was right in front of me, but I just wasn't ready yet. Yes, there are John the Baptists all around us, and I imagine if you take a moment right now, you could think of a John the Baptist in your life as well. You could think of someone who came to you at an important moment of your life when you were stuck, when you were devastated, when you were angry or frustrated, when you couldn't see the Lord right in front of you, and they said, look. They said, behold, he's right here. They may have done it in words, they may have done it in actions, they may have grabbed your hand and pulled you to him. What a blessing these people are. How amazing it is that you are here, not because of yourself, but because someone else made it possible. I hope that you thank that person over the years. I hope that you'll thank them this week to know that your faith is not your own, but it has been handed on to you from someone who came before you. The blessing that John the Baptist is still in our midst. And And what a blessing that this is only half the story. Because if we move to the very next passage, we see that John and Andrew are then introduced to Jesus, and what do? They go and have a party. Yes, our salvation's here. I'm going to keep it to myself. Of course not. The very first thing they do is they go and tell Simon Peter. Simon Peter is a disciple. Simon Peter is an apostle. Simon Peter is the first pope of our church, not because of anything he did, but because John and Andrew took the responsibility to share it with him. And so it is with us. It is not enough simply to have our eyes opened once we have seen that it is our responsibility to then go help other people who have yet to see. We receive from the Lord so that we may pass the Lord on to other people. What a wonderful gift, and what a wonderful responsibility. And so I wonder how you might live out this responsibility. For that truly is what it is. This is not going above and beyond. It's not just for the missionaries of old, the Franciscans and the Jesuits who go to foreign nations, spread the gospel and care for the poor. No, no, no. This is the bare minimum for all Christians. When you have received, when your eyes have been opened, it is our responsibility, each and every one of us, by virtue of our baptism, to go share that now. And so who might that be for you? Who is in your life who can't see yet, but you might be able to open their eyes? You might be able to be the one who says, behold, look, see right in front of you. This may be with a simple action of love. It may be with a simple invitation. It may very well be just the life that you live, that you spread joy everywhere you go and people are attracted to that. And it may be some tough love, to have those hard, uncomfortable conversations. But can you imagine if you don't? Can you imagine if John the Baptist didn't? If he was afraid of rejection, he was afraid of what people might think of him, we wouldn't have John and Andrew. We wouldn't have Peter. We might not have anyone if it weren't for those witnesses. My brothers and sisters, you have received. And now it is our responsibility, each and every one of us, to help others to see as well.